Okay, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Mostly gentlemen, because I don't think many, if any, ladies watch this stream. How is everyone doing this fine morning? I just woke up and Slash has graciously sent me the replays of the latest first round matchup of the Tournament of Titans, and this one should be a good one. We got my boy SkyHigh with the very aggressive Protoss mid build opening up. Last season's champion, without a prize pool, so no Koreans were involved, lost Hydra, who will be Terran in the top right corner. We shall see how this goes. SkyHigh going to go for that mid build here, so we're going to just speed this up a little bit, and yeah, we'll see how she goes. SkyHigh looks like going to see a standard 3 barracks opening from him, and possibly we'll see if it's going to be a 3 gateway or a 4 gateway build from SkyHigh here. SkyHigh going to come up here and finally find his opponent, so that is pretty good timing. Going to be able to scout him before the barracks are even completed. Going to be able to rally those zealots right up, and he's going to start that pylon in a pretty aggressive position, looking like he's going to try to do a cannon push here. It's not uncommon for the second probe to come over here and distract, to just have one kind of location as a distraction while the other is massing up cannons. Because if you get a couple cannons established into your base, you can definitely cause some trouble. If the Terran player is not microing properly, he can surely be in some trouble. These first 2 Marines are going to come up, and he is going to keep them alive versus these first 2 zealots. He's going to run back to his brethren, these 4 other Marines here. Going to kill off 1 Marine. Good micro here by these zealots. Going to kill 2 more Marines here. He's going to have to pull off some SCVs to help, as these Marines are keeping these, these zealots are keeping these Marines in small numbers. So are the SCVs now wasting time mining, chasing down these zealots. The zealots are running back to their rallied brothers over here, and together with the Marines, they may be able to fight all of this, but the more he runs away, the less mining that Hydra is actually doing. So this is hurting Hydra. Even though all these SCVs are out here, he is going to be able to run past most of them and get to a couple more Marines here, but keeping them alive. Firebat and Barracks now completed. His academy is up and going, so it looks like he is going to be able to defend this. His first cannon just about to warp in, but a good surround by all those SCVs. So a pretty good defense here so far. You can see how much harder it is to cast when you don't have that 300 Brain APM. Like, Brain would just somehow be able to stop this without having to pull that many SCVs, but I'm not going to blame Hydra for doing that. If he can stop this push and get some medics out here with that stim, he's going to be in a very good position, because we got no established cannons here at all. 1 cannon going to go back up here now, because since he knows Firebats are out, he does not want to have a Firebat run by. Going to continue to try to pressure. He did not send, you can see these Marines checking around to see if another probe came up here to start building cannons. He probably could have got some established over here in the corner, but not going to be able to do that. Too focused on his micro here, and now getting chased out of the base by this Marine Firebat medic army here. Going to try to get a choke out here so he doesn't die to that mass Marine army while he gets his nexus up. No gas or any kind of transition here from SkyHigh, so he is just massing up zealots right here, and this is looking for some counter pressure here. This can be risky as a Terran player, because if you throw all of this away, you are just kind of giving away your good position if you're not going to kill him right here, right now. Because yeah, he definitely is in the lead as of right now, defending that mid build. That is what SkyHigh invested everything in the initial both. 1 cannon going to try to get up, going to pull off that stim pack, but 1 cannon is done, and that looks like this probably will maybe be enough with the zealots here to stop this, but maybe not. Another cannon is slowly getting up, but you can hear another stim going down. This medic doing a great job healing everything up. Gonna come down here and take out these pylons to stop the production of SkyHigh here, and SkyHigh is in a little bit of trouble here. Factory going back at home and his double command center, so everything very nicely done here by Hydra. Not going to overcommit to this aggression, going to definitely start macroing up back at home here. Takes out those 2 pylons, unpowering all of his gateways here, so no production as of right now for our Protoss player. We can also see that very tricky but pretty standard barracks going up at home, and he is going to take out another cannon. The other cannons are about to get built, but he's going to choose to run by instead, but he's going to run by into 3 more cannons, so SkyHigh isn't going to die to this, but this could be annoying. This army, if it is micro properly, can take out these 3 zealots fairly easily, taking out one marine here, 2 marine, 3 marine. Okay, never mind, this is going to get cleaned up by those 3 zealots, and he's going to be able to reestablish his choke here. So that pressure not going to work here. He is going to continue to try to build up in this top left corner. You can see he's building a bunker as well. But again, I feel like that is just going to be a waste of APM and minerals. Going to be cleaned up by those same 3 zealots that were alive and well. That is a little bit annoying, but 1 cannon, yeah, is just going to go up there and clean all of that up here. His gas is established. He was able to get a fairly quick cybernetics core up, so yeah, robotics facility is going to be the choice of tech for him. Not going to worry about the Citadel of Adun right away, and he's going to get a triple nexus up. Pushing these pylons forward to try to fill in this choke area. Going to get those gateways repowered up, and we are going to go into the mid game. Early game has been survived by both players, and no damage, no significant damage has been done. Lost Hydra is going to try to run these units away, but I don't know exactly what he plans on doing with him. Oh, excuse me, I did just wake up and I was so excited to cast. I didn't even do anything else, just jump right on and start casting the series. It takes a while to upload, so I'm going to get some breakfast while YouTube slowly processes and uploads this replays to the YouTube for you guys. And yeah, we'll see how she goes. My money is, I did predict that SkyHigh is going to win this series, and it's a good start for him as Protoss versus Terran. But Hydra's Terran is no slouch of a Terran. And Terran vs Protoss is a completely winnable matchup for him to do, but he's going to have to deal with, yeah, the SkyHigh, who is now being able to transition nicely into his more basic Protoss macro. We can see that no choke is established left for Hydra, but that is understandable. He is up about 20 supply there. A couple of Dragoons out here going to clean up this Terran barracks and not let it scout anymore. We do have the first dropship up and the Templar of Archives completing now with the Stargate for the Corsair and a couple additional robotic space here. So the storm drops will be coming shortly. But tank drop is actually going to come first, and there is not much defense up here for this tank drop. So this tank drop could do significant damage if he does not send these Dragoons up a little bit higher. But maybe he doesn't need to. The dropship is going to come into the one spot where there is a little bit of defense here. Going to drop these siege tanks down. We do have 60 supply. Okay, so it only killed 2 or 3. Okay, it killed about 60 supply. Killed about 4 or 5 probes there. Not what he wanted done. A lot of shieldless probes here, but not going to be able to kill it. Luckily for Hydra, that did come in right here instead of up here. If I feel like it was up here, he would have had enough time to siege up and properly get some couple more kills. So perhaps a little bit of a misstep from Hydra. We can confirm Hydra does not map hack, because he would for sure have gone up there. I feel like Gangster Jose would have definitely dropped up in the top left position. Another tank is going to try to siege, but maybe a little bit impatient there, not waiting for a second siege check. That one tank definitely had no chance of sieging up. Going to quickly clean that up here, and now time for a counter drop here for SkyHigh, who's slowly climbing his way into a much better position after recovering from the failed mid build here. His shuttle speed is completed, and he is definitely going to have an opportunity to get in this base, as there's not much turrets up at all for him. A couple of scans coming down from the ComSats, not the ComStats. Thank you in the comment for correcting my terrible mispronunciation of all of these very complicated StarCraft words. Reaver going to try to hunt down these SCVs that were pulled. He did get one shot off on them, killing a couple of guys, but he is going to escape there alive and well. Lots of bunkers here at the front here, and the classic scouting pylons here, going to make sure that nothing comes down from the bottom to attack him. Still going to have to worry about any kind of potential battle cruiser, main snipes, and mass drops from those close positions. You could drop a bunch of tanks here that'll definitely be in range to snipe that main with a little EMP. They won't have to survive too long. And, things that you can definitely just go after a little bit earlier when you're this much closer. You can just turtle, less chance of them getting picked off here. But Hydra will be vigilant of that, and I'm sure he's going to mass up accordingly. Another drop going to come in here to try to buy him some time while he establishes more and more gateways in his base. Turrets are getting thrown up in those extra command centers that will be used for ComSat stations. The drop coming in now, it is a High Templar drop, going to get targeted. Both High Templars do land though, and not going to take out a significant amount. A good pull here and a good dodge. It is harder to storm SCVs than drones and probes, so they can survive a lot more of a hit than, of course, a Probido that only has 40 HP compared to 60 HP. So you really do have to nail those storms when you are storming the Terran, and that of course does give Terran lots of opportunity here to stay alive and keep his economy just rolling, because we have seen from previous games, once the Terran is fully up and going, it is extremely difficult to kill them, especially if you have not done any kind of economical damage to them. They are just tough to kill. We can see those scans going down everywhere. Going to make sure that he has not expanding mass gateways or mass stargates anywhere, because you do, as a Terran, definitely want to know when those carriers are coming so you can plan accordingly. Because if there is no carriers, you can just mass siege tanks and be completely fine, and Marines. But if you see carriers coming out, you do usually want to get Valkyries and Ghosts and other things to counter those carriers. And that a lot of these units that otherwise aren't the most helpful if you're just going against a mass ground army. Another drop going to come in here, good stem up by those Marines, and it's going to take out the dropship that did have the High Templar. A couple of Zealots are going to drop just to give them a little scare, but that's going to get taken out quickly. So very good defense here by Hydra. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. A bunch of idle probes out here, just being a little AFK, just ready to mass cannons, gateways, whatever they need to, out in the middle of the map. Another robotics facility getting thrown down here. So right now we are at a little bit of a we're actually going to see Hydra move out here and start applying some pressure of his own. A very nice storm there, going to take out that big pile of Marines there. How many kills? Got 12 kills right there on that one storm. So good start to defending this push. He does not have many cannons out here though, so he is going to have to rely on his mass, his ground mass, basically only here, and that could be worrisome. Not very many tanks being pulled out here. He is having a lot of Marines at home defending those drops, so this should not be too big of an issue. He's sending down those AFK probes into all of these separate bases now to be able to yeah, just mass over here and try to delay this push, but I just don't know if that's going to be as good as it would be if they were in different positions, because Lost Hydra can just kind of ignore that and go right into here to try to get that main. That is what the minimum you want in one of these successful pushes here. Another drop getting ready to get loaded up here. No High Templars though in it yet. He's gonna have to pick up at least a couple High Templars here to go. And we do see actually a battle cruisers are being built, so he is gonna possibly go for the Yomi-Yoto and possibly nukes as well. I guess he's just getting that for the ghosts. A couple more storms going down here is going to clean up that tiny little push of Hydra here. Now it's kind of like a little fake out push here, because he does have just a lot of Marines at home that is taking up a lot of the supply and taking away from what could be tanks in this push here. We could just see pylons being built in these other bases here. Tank's gonna get a little too overzealous here and try to pick off. I guess they're actually probably targeting those High Templars here. They are being microed, going to get taken out. Another storm gonna just massacre these Marines here. Marines, yeah, definitely don't do too well versus storms. They got the same HP as a probe, and they will just get destroyed. We got the 1-1 upgrades on them and the 1-1-2 upgrades for the Protoss. And yeah, that's going to be cleaned up. Not the most effective pushes so far from Mr. Lost Hydra. He is slowly making some battle cruisers. I believe that is going to be for the Yomi-Yoto push. There is not much defense here, and battle cruisers can take that out. They don't need to survive too long to be able to take all of that out. And we actually are going to see some counter pressure here. So these battle cruisers are actually going to have to fight. Oh, I feel like a drop went in. Oh, drop's coming in right here. I thought I heard something going down. But again, the High Templar dropship is going to get taken out here. And it's even tough to kill a Terran with mass factory, because you can see they could just siege up in here, and these factories just are an automatic wall for them. They have such long range that it is even difficult to just kill a Terran who has full economy up with just ground units. So we can see the Stargates coming out here for the carrier transition. Another scan is going to go down. I imagine the scan, okay, maybe the scan was up front here. Going to be able to push these tanks forward. He is stockpiling up some battle cruisers here. He does have 6 battle cruisers. I don't know if that, I think that might be the magic number. Isn't that what we saw in that previous series? The battle cruiser 6 Yomi-Yotos can take out a main. It would be nice to see them accompanied by the EMP, because one EMP takes out half of its supply, and then the Yomi-Yotos only have to do 750 damage, and I definitely know that 6 battle cruisers can do at least 750 damage. So these battle cruisers are gonna walk by this drop here, going to Yomi-Yoto. That first one does about 250 damage. All of the rest are going to click away. Maybe not enough energy all to be Yomi-Yoto. They are just going to try to tank the brunt of the damage and try to take this out. Not as cool as a Yomi-Yoto. Meanwhile, the drop does fall down, not taking out enough units, and these battle cruisers are going to fail. Only one had enough energy for Yomi-Yoto. So again, maybe a little impatience from Hydra here. Just had to wait for a couple Yomi-Yotos, and that definitely would have been successful. Going to give SkyHigh an opportunity to perhaps defend that a little bit better, but he is dealing with this big push from the front coming in. Hydra definitely not being impatient here, going to definitely be sieging up on here. Dropship's going to come in here to try to drop some zealots on top of these tanks. That is what you need to do to stay alive. He needs to buy himself some time for carriers to possibly come out, but that is going to be a tricky balancing act to do with the Terran so close to you. Are you going to have an opportunity to build carriers and have no ground units for the most part? And if you do build carriers, how many carriers can you build? Because they do take a while to build, and while they're building, Terran will be pushing. So we're going to see that act. He has all the Stargates ready to go, but he does not yet have a chance to build them, as Terran is pressuring a lot right now. Not the biggest Terran army still, as I'm not exactly sure why. He's killing off some SUVs here. Maybe it's because of all of the why his army looks so small is what I'm trying to say. I guess it's because he's building these battle cruisers. These battle cruisers take up a lot of supply here. Going to try to take that main out, which now seems to be a what the Terran seems to want to go for almost immediately. This battle cruiser main snipe, which I do like a lot. Don't see battle cruiser. He didn't see battle cruisers as much in Terran versus Protoss. But I do like to see it. You can see the more in Terran versus Terran. This army, another drop, not going to be successful. So Hydra defending these drops very nicely, not letting his economy take a hit at all. Just losing a couple at a time here. Once he spreads these tanks out all around, they're going to be incredibly difficult to kill. Battlecruiser just fighting at the front here. And yeah, it looks like he's not going to be able to get that carrier mass that he so desperately wants and needs right now. The Marine, tank, and battlecruiser army seems to be doing work right now. I'm going to try to drop some zealots on top of these siege tanks, which is going to take out a couple, but not. Looks like it's not going to be enough here for SkyHigh. SkyHigh now starting to build scouts here. Not what he wants, but they do build a little bit quicker than carriers. That was just scanned though, as we saw here, and more Terran units are being pushed into his base here. SkyHigh in a little bit of trouble here, trying to mass up as many units as he can and rally them up here so they're not just dying the second they pop out. A couple of units being sent over to here. He doesn't want to have to deal with the carriers, so he is going to try to take that out. You can focus on pylons to unpower them, which is what he is going to do here. Does not want to have to deal with the carriers. The scouts, I don't even know if the scouts can take out. They must be able to. You do not see scouts very often. They are just not the best unit, but they may be able to take this out. We got a nice little battle you don't see very often. The scouts versus Marine battlecruiser here. And they actually are going to clean that up, but more Marines coming in. I feel like Marines counter scouts pretty good. Pretty much everything counter scouts pretty well. Unless you can get like a mass of them to try to take out the main. This is going to take away from the pressure of his main, so it's going to give SkyHigh a chance to possibly mass up and defend again here, but going to lose all of these Stargates. So he's not going to be able to mass carry these. He's going to have to continue to try to deal with this now with even less gateways here. And I feel like Hydra is in prime position to take this game here. Not taking any damage from those drops and defending that mid build, going to put him in a super nice position. Put in a lot of good counter damage here. And Arbiter is now out though. Maybe that can change the game. Not the most detection, even though he does have 3 comsat stations out and about here. These cloaked units are going to get some work in while he does try to deal with this. These scouts continuing to pop out and be able to defend, but Marines are 3-3 Marines are pretty good versus the 1-1 scouts here. And yeah, he's going to be able to stay alive just a little bit longer perhaps. He's staying alive just as much as his Nexus is staying alive right now, which is just barely. Slowly regenerating his shield is how SkyHigh is slowly rebuilding his base here. And one Arbiter is going to be focus fired and taken out. And we do have a possibility of a counterattack here, but it's just so tough to kill a Terran with just a ground army. You really need to drop or recall or use carriers to get in these spots to really spread out the army, because once the Terran army is all bunched up together, they are extremely hard to kill, especially without your high Templars. You need high Templars to take care of this many Marines. 2 storms can take out a tank, 1 storm can kill, as you saw before, this whole pile of Marines here. A Reaver is going to be able to do a little bit of splash damage here. Even that does help versus all these Marines. These Marines are powerful in big groups, but they're also vulnerable to that kind of splash damage here. A couple more scans going to go down to try to negate that Arbiter's cloaking of these units. This Reaver doing absolute work here, though. Going to continue to damage and take out a lot of units in the past, but it may just be too little too late. All of these buildings now are unpowered, so no opportunity for him to mass up any kind of ground units, and this Terran mass push is just not going to slow down. He is a little bit low on gas now that he is really having to mass a lot, but he does have so many barracks that even while he's saving up gas, he'll be able to just mass a shit ton of Marines. And right now, Marines are still doing work here. Going to pick up 3 more dropships full of units, continuing to scan around the map, making sure that he's not going to have to deal with any hidden bases, any kind of hidden carrier mass. That just it's just a little bit harder to deal with. He does have these wraiths though that are intended to scout as well as clean up anything in the anything spread around the map. Again, it looks like the oh no, the one High Templar is around. It is going to do a storm, but I think again that's not going to be enough. He did kill quite a bit of SCVs here, but he does have the bank to just remass out all the units right now, as he does smell blood. And just massing up units can definitely get him enough to get into that main area, which is the which will be devastating for SkyHigh. SkyHigh definitely holding on nicely though, but just so hard when the turn is this close to you, just reinforcing this long. You really do need to get damage done. I feel like he made a little bit of a mistake only sending 1 probe up to build cannons when he definitely could have done that as a distraction. Hydra did not have vision on that side of the map for a while, but good micro nonetheless from Hydra, keeping all of this stuff alive, pulling the SCVs so he can have a favorable fight versus those very early zealots. And I think this is going to be GG any second here. OS SkyHigh is going to GG out, and Hydra is going to take a 1-0 lead in this series. GG. GG! GG! What is up? Game 2. Jumping right into it. We have a Zerg Hydra versus a Protoss SkyHigh. So SkyHigh is going to get the benefit of being Protoss yet again, but so far that hasn't meant very much because we have seen the Protosses die more than you usually do so far in this tournament. So we shall see. We shall see. I couldn't help but notice the file size for this replay, so I'm not going to be shy with multiplying the speed up a little bit here, because this is going to be a doozy of a game. We do see the Nexi first here into the double gateway, so it is the more of the standard, or not standard, the more safer version perhaps of the Nexus first here, getting 2 gateways instead of the Forge immediately. Sometimes, or mostly, you see the Koreans only get 1 gateway and then a gas, but he's going to get the double gateway and the double gas here while establishing his choke here. The Zerg player is going to be in top middle position right beside the Protoss, so this could be trouble for our Zerg player. The first 2 zealots are going to come out here, gonna get a couple of shots off from the Zerglings here, and a probe somehow did sneak in here, so that could be trouble. I don't know if Lost Hydra knows about this. 2 Zerglings going to try to get a little bit of a scout off here. Not going to make it though, and that probe is detected and is going to be chased down by the Zerglings. Going to try to keep it alive to see what he can for as long as he can, but not going to be able to survive here. Robotics facility and a Citadel of Adun being built right now, so that very quick tech. Going to go for the very quick High Templar drops. Hydra likes, or not Hydra, Boxer SkyHigh likes to go for the Reaver drops first, as he has very high level Reaver micro. And yeah, we're going to see how this goes. You can also yeah, just drop off units over here, but these Sunken Colonies and Zerglings should be able to make sure that this doesn't do too much damage. A very quick Hydralist Den is also being built, going to start getting those upgrades for those Hydras while slowly building a couple from these few hatcheries that he has, so he can just defend himself from drops and also possibly do some counter pressure of his own. Good job by xtre-boxer going to keep these units alive to distract while this next drop comes in, but he's not going to fall for it. These Hydras going to be able to see this dropship in time before it can come in, and just going to try to follow it, making sure it does not come in here. Second Reaver is going to be loaded up in here, and yeah, he's going to try to perhaps go on around all the way around to the other side, but pretty good Overlord placement here. You can see that he has everything that he all Overlords are in a pretty good position here. You're going to continue to spread them out as much as you can. It wouldn't be the worst idea to use these Corsairs to distract. Just a distraction drop here. It is empty. He wants the Zerg to pay attention to that while he slept in the real guy here, but not going to work. Lost Hydra not falling for those shenanigans here. And continue. Okay, here we go. We got a Storm and Reavers here, so if this does land, this could be troublesome for our Lost Hydra player, but he's doing a great job just massing Hydras while he... Oh, getting a good pull here. No drones to fire off on. Good job from Lost Hydra. Going to keep that all alive. These Corsairs going to come in here and get picked off as they scout for some Overlord blood. Continuing to mass up his drops. You're going to run right by that Overlord, so that will be seen here by Lost Hydra. Going to be able to get these Hydras in position, continuing to mass up Hydras, really relying on the drops right now, not applying much pressure at the front. I feel like you have to always be applying pressure to the Zerg player. You just do not want them to be able to mass up like this. The Zerg player preparing for the frontal pressure though, and throwing up as many sunken colonies as he can. That drop is going to get picked off. Another drop going to be able to land and actually take out a whole lot of Hydra, or a lot of drones there. So the first significant hit by SkyHigh did that little distraction drop, and now he is going to begin to attempt to pressure the front here with a couple of Dragoons here. And while SkyHigh is forced to rebuild all of his drones here. The next couple of cycles of units are all just going to be drones here. That definitely puts the Zerg a little bit behind here. But with not the okay, there we go. We do see the robotics facilities being built up here, but just a whole shit ton of sunken colonies being built. Another drop going to come in here, and now again it is going to get kills. That is what you want to do, is just them get kills. It's down to 32 drones right here. A couple of Hydras look like they got killed off of here. I guess we can go down to normal speed for a little bit. Even though, no, we're not. We're gonna do this in ×2 at the very minimum here, because yeah, it's just a long effing replay here. Looks like a couple more Stargates being down, and some cannons being thrown up at the side here. Lost Hydra is a broker than a joker right now, so I would not mind seeing these masses continue to happen. Another drop going to be shut down here. Dropships are going to be cleaned up here, and now the Reaver is going to start pushing away. These Hydras going to pop out though to take that out. Got a nice little pathway here for those Hydras to run through. Another drop coming in here, going to go down, but a nice pull here from Hydra, who also has an expansion up here, which is just good to have consistent income while you're constantly pulling away your drones and constantly losing them. It's not the worst idea to have a mineral expansion that can obviously be Nidist, and he can get a gas expansion, because you can never have enough gas as a Zerg player in those later stages to just continue to mass up those Guardians and all of those fun gas heavy Zerg units. Slowly establishing more of his gas. It's just a slow evolution here for the Zerg while he just deals with the Protoss pressure and the Protoss drops here. Another drop going to come in here, going to pull, but yeah, too much DPS here for those Hydras to stay alive any long enough. Guardians and Sunken is a pretty good combination. Guardians going to be able to continually push away those Reavers. Oh, pylon here. It looks like SkyHigh wants to build pylons near all of these minerals, just to make sure that there isn't any hidden expansions, as this is a common tactic for the Zerg to do. Really, anyone who's going to be getting dropped a lot. Going to kill off some of his 110 probes here, because he does have way too many probes here. But he is, again, just kind of letting the Zerg chill here. Oh, actually, look at that. He's transitioning into carriers. I did not see that. So SkyHigh may be a little thrown off by these carriers, but he does already have Defilers, going to have Consume, and he is starting to mass up on the hatchery since he's had so much time to relax here, just kind of defending off these drops. There hasn't been the most pressure, as the carrier transition has been taking up most of his supply and time here. Not a bad idea when you see this many Sunkens. You're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just try something else. Another drop going down here, not going to kill a significant amount of workers, but did get a drop off. So yeah, we're gonna see if these carriers can at least, at the very minimum, snipe the main. This expansion up here gonna get taken out. You can see those pylons. Oh no, no pylon down here, but pylons everywhere else. Little Zergling here going to be able to still survive in an Overlord here, to make sure that he does still have a location to pull all of his drones. These Scourge are going to come in here and try to get a scout off. Not going to be able to see these carriers. Where are the carriers? Guardians pushing forward here. Oh, the carriers did come in here to try to snipe the main. Oh, I did miss that, but they did not succeed. Enough Hydralisks here to kill all the interceptors, it appears. Carrier is going to move on up here. Drop coming down, not going to succeed here. The carrier is going to have to go on the defensive here, picking off all of these Guardians, as he doesn't have any other measures to really defend that. But a Defiler looking like it was trying to go for a Plague, but it isn't going to go with a nice Swarm here. Swarm is pretty good, but Zealots can fight through it, so can Reavers, so can Storm, so it isn't nearly as effective versus a Protoss as it would be a Terran, and the main is going to go down, so SkyHigh is going to be able to pick off that main here. He did get his carriers plagued, and that is going to be better the longer this game goes on, for the most part, for Mr. Lost Hydra. He is going to, yeah, it's tough to kill a Protoss. It's tough to kill anyone when they're turtling up like this many Sunkens, this many Cannons and Reavers. A good unit combination for both of these players. These Reavers are going to be able to clean up anything underneath that Swarm, but these Plagues will definitely be tough to deal with. These carriers targeting the Guardians, and they're going to run into these Hydralisks that take them out quickly. Now the Swarm kind of working against the Zerg player here. Guardian is not able to do any damage here, and we have a chance for our Zerg to get some counter pressure going. Storm's pretty good versus Guardians. This Arbiter also doing a great job cloaking these units. Overlord not in close enough proximity to detect all of this units, and Guardians slowly pushing away, but Corsairs are taking them out. No Devourers to protect these poor Guardians. Zerglings massing up, but not able to penetrate that choke here, pulling these Guardians back and going to take out those Corsairs. Another drop looks like it did go down, taking out quite a few drones here. Wasn't able to catch that, as there was a lot of action going on up here. Another big attack going to another big, I don't know what that is, not really an attack, that was only like 20 Dragoon, or not even 20, 12 Dragoons there. Gonna get taken out quickly. An Arbiter hallucination recall gonna come in, but he wasn't bunched up far enough behind all of those hallucinations, and the Arbiter is gonna get picked off. He's probably going to recall some Reavers, because he does have quite a bit of Reavers here. And yeah, just you really want to hurt this Zerg economy as much as you possibly can here. There isn't the most defense here, so I'm wondering why he's having difficulties dropping it. I guess he's just dealing with all of this Zerg pressure. You really just want him to constantly be pushing though right now, as the Zerg economy should be significantly worse. It's going to be tough for him to collect gas. He's going to have to expand over here to get that additional gas, because gas collection is just real tough when you don't have that main, which is so close to all of those geysers. Another nice plague going to go down here. And yeah, we just kind of are seeing a stalemate. SkyHigh, I would definitely say, is in the lead right now, but Hydra is no slouch. You are not bad if you've won an FCW season, that is for sure. You're definitely pretty ghostly. Lots of players that you must beat that are just very high level, and yeah, you managed to do it even though there was no Korean. So it will be interesting to see Hydra versus some of these Koreans in the future if he does manage to make it past his first round. But SkyHigh, again, no slouch. He was my pick to win this, no bias at all, even though we are best friends. Yeah, I think he's just definitely able to do it. He's got himself in a pretty good position. Like, he's got the Zerg hurt. You can see 191 supply. The Zerg just really struggling to keep his minerals going. I'm definitely missing some of these drops with the ×2 speed, but again, we are not even we're not even a quarter of the way through this replay right now. So spoiler alert, this is a 2-hour game. That is why I'm doing this ×2 speed at the very minimum, and I may just time forward at some points here because yeah, we definitely have ourselves a little bit of a stalemate. It looks like SkyHigh just doesn't know exactly how to kill this super turtled up Terran. Gonna throw a drop in from the front, but now, oh, look at that! That actually was a very nice drop here. Gonna take out quite a bit of drones there, down to 35 drones again. Yeah, able to hold on though without taking significant damage though. He is down to a very low mineral count and a very low supply here, so it does look like SkyHigh is making progress, but just not enough progress, or I'm not exactly sure how he doesn't win this game earlier, to be honest with you. These spoilers have definitely spoiled me a bit. I feel like it wouldn't hurt for him to just mass gateways up here. If you're just going to be massing ground units, and he can get a couple robotics facilities up here for the Reavers that they have a close path, and then just mass gateways here in the middle, so they just have a little bit of a shorter path. They can just keep being rallied down here. We do see that Nidus here, and these Dragoons are going to take out this gas expansion. Really want to starve the Zerg player out as much as he can, but Sunken Guardians, Lurkers, oh, excuse me, pretty good combination, especially if you don't have any observers. Going to be able to storm, though. Storm pretty good. Going to be able to, yeah, hurt all of these units here. Take out a lot of these Guardians. The Guardians are nicely spread out here, so they're going to have to take just so many extra storms here. Not going to be able to stack that damage up here. Back up to 95 drones now, so he is going to be able to start remassing all of these Sunkens and units once again. Does have a lot invested in defense here. There's that eight Lurkers, lots of, or not lots, but yeah, that is quite a bit. And just this Sunken mass, though, is going to be just tough to kill. He does need an observer to be moved up a little bit more, because these Lurkers are just ravishing these units here. And yeah, we're going to continue to see them just be rebuilt, but oh, the SkyHigh mass! Oh, nice little observer snipe there. Going to be able to pick off that observer with some Scourges. Going to, these lurkers still do give away their positions, and you are able to storm it without any detection. Arbiter taking a shortcut, a little bit of a risky shortcut there, but he is going to stay alive. Another observer sounded like it just got picked off. More scourges, and look at that, even an ensnare getting thrown down by some queens here. So the Zerg using everything he possibly can to hold on here. Protoss just continually throwing in units, massing his dragoons here, but I guess they are slowly making progress. His Guardian mass though comes back up. Guardians versus Dragoons, not the fight you really want as the Zerg player. You don't want to be out in the open where you're outnumbered by Dragoons here. A couple of Archons here being Gosu at the front here. They're tough to kill for sure, but not when there's 10,000 sunken. Another Ensnare going to go down, another Swarm going to go down, and then these Zerglings are going to be able to counter these Dragoons nicely, and another Protoss army is cleared. We can see there we go, right as I say that, a drop does come down here. He really needs to run by and then drop over here out of range of these lurkers. Way easier said when you can see the entire map and everything that is burrowed and stuff, but it just would be nice to see him trying to do something a little bit different. Gonna go in from the front here and gonna get ensnared, and he actually is able to drop and again kill about 60 drones there. So very nice storm there. He stormed in the path that the drones have to go to escape here. But again, the Protoss army is going to be cleared out on the front, and Hydra does have a big enough bank and enough hatcheries now that replacing those drones isn't as big of a deal as it was. Surviving though nicely. You can see that he basically only has enough economy though to defend for the most part. Going to start to try to mass out in the middle here. He really wants to get some sunken colonies up in the middle and have a closer path to push this Protoss. Like I was saying with the Zerg here, with the Protoss, if he built more gateways and things here, he just wouldn't have an opportunity to get stuck in this choke. But yeah, just more ensnared Zerglings and Swarms going to be pushed out here. Would be nice to see a plague, and ensnared and plagued units. That is rough. There we do see the ensnared plagued units. They're just covered in all sorts of Zerg shit right now. Not how you want to be living as a slow plagued unit. He just has 2 HP. Luckily you do have shields. Shields aren't infected by plague. Again, we can see that Swarm being counterintuitive there. The Reavers are able to take out the Guardians, and the Reavers able to kill all of the Zerglings. Slowly getting established more creep colonies up here, and just the more creep colonies you have, just the tougher of a position you are. Looks like he's going to go try to get that full concave onto the Protoss here and slowly drown him out. And if you can't have two, it looks like he actually did get dropped again though, because another big dip in drone count for Lost Hydra here. I did miss that with all of this action going down here. We are at the 43-minute mark of this game here. So we are possibly going to have to do ×4. Don't know how you guys feel about ×4, and I'm already missing. Oh, we do see a little bit of a recall there. Again, going to take out a handful of drones there. But yeah, the Protoss just in a tough position, trying to reclaim this middle of the map. It's now like a risk game here. Zerg wants to expand into the middle, but the Protoss is just doing everything he can to prevent that, and he is going to stop it. So we are going to go ×4 here for a quick second, down to 60 supply, and we can see Hydra just really low in minerals this whole time. Yeah, that is all because of the main being gone. Just the mineral is just, your mineral just comes so much slower here. And it looks like the Protoss, actually it looks like it's making some headway here. couple of DT slashing away, and all of the Sunkens basically have been taken out. So if he can continue to mass in here, he may have an opportunity to do some real damage here. But mass Zerglings are super good versus these Dragoons that are being built. Gonna need more Reavers here. And I guess we do see 3 Reavers on the production tab, but the mass Cracklings are pretty good. Cracklings are especially good versus Dragoons, as I feel like I've said now maybe 14 to 15 times. I wouldn't mind, actually, I don't even know. He's going to give Hydra again the opportunity to just rebuild all of these sunken colonies, so we are going to go into ×4 mode. Just seeing these more plagues getting thrown down, making these units even more vulnerable to the Cracklings. Cracklings just making super quick work of these plagued units. Going to push forward and just try to make headway on the Zerg. And every time it looks like he does make headway, he just does get pushed back again and just doesn't have armies reinforcing just quite quick enough here. The Zergling swarm flag again getting thrown down. More Guardians slowly being rebuilt here at the back. And yeah, we see that the Zerg may have maybe having some trouble. It's crazy that he is able to just hold on with way less supply, way less minerals and everything, just continually holding on, using everything that the Zerg has to offer. You see every single Zerg unit except for we haven't seen any Devourers or Ultralists yet, so we'll see if they get produced. Queens have been made before those 2 units. Ultralists, I guess, probably not going to see them because they are a little expensive for how useful they are in this matchup on this map. A couple of Arbiters trying to fight a Spore, that'll never work out well for them. And still not massing up SkyHigh. I feel like he definitely, I guess he is really focusing on these pushes here. He's probably getting a little bit bored now that we are at the 55-minute mark of just kind of just trying to do the same thing, really pushing these cannons closer. I do like that if you can start building cannons in this place, but cannons just suck versus the swarm. I mean, the Reavers are really the only thing in the storm that are countering these swarm Zerglings. Ooh, now we're seeing the little Corsairs special ability being utilized there. A couple of Hydras just ran into their death. The Guardian's gonna come in here again and clean up. And no drops have been done. That's the one thing you always have to be doing. You always have to be dropping the Zerg player, especially without a main. You can see just how low his minerals are. If he is able to like storm all of the drones while he's at one of these really low mineral spots, he basically checkmated the Zerg here. But his timings just don't seem to be working out perfectly well. And even when Hydra breaks out now, he just doesn't have the mineral to use all of his hatcheries to even build units. So he's he's literally just holding on by the skin of his teeth here. And okay, we are going to have to ×8 this for now, because just nothing, I don't see anything else changing for the most part. They are just kind of doing this little teeter-totter back and forth here. Again, the Zerg is going to try to establish a mass or a middle presence here with some sunken colonies. Does take out some of the expansion of the Protoss player, but the Protoss player just continuing to push forward. Zerg player just trying to do its best to push out of his base, but gonna get pushed back, just real pushback. It almost looks like a UMS, to be honest with you. These guys just not, I guess now he's gonna go Corsair, a Reaver combination. They are slowly changing up their builds, but the Dragoons just kind of seem pointless at this point with this many Zerglings. But as I say that, they do a little bit of work here. Like at this point, like a Mass Zealot might not be the worst. Zealot, Corsair, Reaver. Just because. Another drop going in. Looks like it did nothing. SkyHigh actually getting pretty low on probes there, but I guess it doesn't matter. The expansion up here has been rebuilt by Lost Hydra. We are now at an hour 16 minutes of these guys non-stop battling it out here. Carrier's gonna give Carriers another try now, but as he goes Carriers, he is going to leave himself a little bit vulnerable for Zerg to get these hatcheries up that he's just been trying to do for a while, picking off all of these static defense. Scourges gonna come in here with the flags, gonna have a couple of swarms here, picking off the hive. Lots more of the ground units being taken out, but Carriers just slowly getting whittled away. We can see the Zerg doing a little bit of counter pressure here. You can see that he has got a little bit of this side thing established. I don't know if they have the range to actually go over there. Gonna drop right underneath the Carriers, but gonna get marked up by multiple Reavers. And yeah, SkyHigh, look what we do. We see some Devourers doing some work there. Lost Hydra has fully, though, expanded up here meanwhile, so he's ready for this base to die basically anyway and have his minerals reestablished up here. That's the one thing about not having a main, is you can expand in these different spots. Like if you have this shitty middle spot right beside the Proton, you can go ahead and take a corner spot and start massing up your Sunkens over there. The Protoss is slowly but surely losing all of its map control. That is the problem with going those Carriers. I'm going to recall it down here again, but now he has to deal with this upper spot over here now. Lost Hydra up to 123 probes. This drop is going to come up here and see that Hydra has expanded up here, and he's just slowly taking over the entire map like a Zerg wants to do here. Going to be able to just mass spores up here and slowly but surely turn the tides. His resources are back up and just booming now. Still only on the one gas really though, so this is impressive stuff by Hydra. Not dying to this Protoss at all. No matter how long it takes, he's ready to go. Little drop here. SkyHigh just trying to regain some ground, but it's tough to kill 1 zillion Sunken and Spore colonies with all of this Guardians and Defiler mount. So SkyHigh has effectively lost all of his advantages for the most part, and he may just tap out soon. We are at the hour and 40-minute mark, so this game is going on for nearly 2 hours, which is just wild. You want to kill yourself when you're in part of these games. Like, so bad, so much of you wants to just leave the game, but then so much of you just wants to also win. You do not want to give the satisfaction to the other player. You've just been working so hard to get this victory. It's absolutely devastating to lose a game like this, especially when he did take that main so early and he felt like he was doing everything that he could. But Hydra able to hold on in a very impressive Zerg versus Protoss game, and yeah, just able to really take it. It's really patience, I guess, and just having the right build or the right unit combination is what I'm trying to say. Each time utilizing all of those Zerg special abilities, and yeah, going to look like he's going to be able to take this game now that he has full map control. The Terran or the Protoss cannot leave his base. without taking just significant damage. These Sunkens don't look like they do have the range to attack over here. At least I haven't seen it so far. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before our Protoss player taps out. Zerg just has a full economy again now. He has full map control. Never did get those Sunkens established at the front, but he did get the spores on both sides of him. And yeah, just going to be enough, it looks like, massing up spores and up here too. So he is absolutely ready to use that expansion if somehow he does lose all of this. So very impressive stuff here by our Zerg player. And it looks like he will take this game in just a matter of time. In the nearly 2-hour game, looks like SkyHigh is going to, going to fall. Just a matter of time now. Ooh. The Zerg does have to try to kill the Protoss. The tables have turned here. The Protoss can turtle for a long time as well. And yeah, this game is pretty much over. I feel like SkyHigh may just tap out at some point too. Oh, we saw a Mutabomb go down there to try to take out the main of SkyHigh. So at the 2-hour mark, oh, there we go. We did see again. He's gonna try to mass mutas to take out this main here. Nice little Arbiter freeze here. That lasts for a long time. And yeah, the main almost dead. 75 HP here. It looks like one more mass of mutas is going to be able to take that out. But meanwhile, the Zerg is moving out. Main down. Finally, at the 2-hour mark, nearly 2-hour mark, the main will go down. SkyHigh still out on the map, but the way he's just massing ground units, he's really going to be poor really soon. You can see the drop in minerals, and yeah, GG gonna be called. Lost Hydra wins an epic 2-hour Zerg versus Protoss, and yeah, wow, that was quite impressive by Lost Hydra, being able to hold on when he was almost down and out, and just never give up, slowly take over map. And yeah, holy Christ, glad we didn't live cast that game, because 2-hour games are crazy to cast. It was on ×4 most of the time, and I was having a hard time continuing to cast that game. So shout out to Slash, who did do that game live. Kudos to you, man. I wish I understood Spanish so I could see what you were saying that whole entire time. But yeah, GG. SkyHigh gonna take that Zerg versus Protoss, a 2-hour Zerg versus Protoss. You don't see games go on that often for that long, but yeah, that was an epic ZVP. Holy shit. I'm gonna get a glass of water and then we'll jump into the third game. Booyakasha! We are here. Game 3. SkyHigh gonna be Terran. Oh god, Lost Hydra is the Zerg again. Are we going to see another 2-hour Zerg performance from Lost Hydra? I don't think so, because the Zerg's form is significantly better against Terran, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see how she goes. They are crossbots, so that is a tendency to be the longest game. You don't usually see a 2-hour game when they're that close to each other, but these are usually the 2-hour game to see when they're crossbots. So let's hope that doesn't happen, but we will jump into it. We're gonna dive right into it. We will multiply the speed at the beginning for a little bit. I didn't even check how long this game was, so it could be a 2-hour game. I didn't see the file. The file size didn't just blast out to me like that last series. Usually you don't see a file size that big for a replay. Going to have the triple barracks. Is going to get it scouted. Is going to deny that sunken colony for a little bit longer than Hydra would like, and he is going to be able to start rallying these Marines over. Not going to be able to do too much damage, but is going to be able to know he has halted Marine production. So I think he's going to throw down possibly a command center. Okay, no, never mind. He's going to continue that Marine production now. Seeing game at a normal speed now is actually almost weird. After watching it on ×4 for however long we casted that last game. A very quick gas up for Hydra. So it looks like he's going to try to get tech, and these Zerglings somehow did manage to run by. Going to see that the factory is going to be at home. That is super important scouting information, because a lot of times the Terran likes to build the factories out on the middle of the map, and that is definitely going to make that tank push come that much quicker. So he isn't going to have to worry about that right away. And yeah, he should be able to kind of know what to expect for the most part. I don't know if you saw that double factory, but it's going to be 2 factory at home. Normally the Terran does like to build the 2 factories right here, but that can be vulnerable to a mass ling speed builds and other such things, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time. It is going to be a pretty quick layer, so it's going to looks like it's going to be a very quick lurker push here. So that can also do wonders, buy you some time. Command center is going to be thrown up here, continuing to rally the Marines outside of his base here. Medics going to be pulled up. No starports being produced yet, so it looks like he is just going to try to go for a frontal break here. Queen's Nest already being built with that lurker upgrade already beginning here. So Lost Hydra going to be able to get that Defiler mound up ASAP. That I imagine that is what he is going for with these quick lurkers. The pressure is going to start here. These Marines going to make sure that these Sunkens can't get pushed up too much farther than where they already are. And if they are going to get pushed out, they're only going to be pushed out 1 sunken spot at a time. Not going to be able to just build a sunken right here and really push that creep out farther than it needs to be. Hive already beginning here. A couple of Hydralisks being produced here. Going to have a couple of lurkers. Looks like 3 lurkers. And he's actually upgrading Burrow really quickly too, just in case those vessels come out for some ratty tatty cates. An engineering bay being built up here at the choke, going to get floated in here to maximize that tank shooting range here. Going to pick off that 1 sunken colony to get his tank in a nice prime position to start shooting down those sunken colonies. A little concerned that he doesn't have a, well, I guess he does have a scan, but there we go. Starport now being produced here. Lurkers are going to be built very soon here. So it's just it's a battle, or it's really, look at that, he even has a drone waiting to build that Defilers down. Hydra getting himself in a pretty good position. Does not look like he's going to die to this at all. Definitely going to have these lurkers out. That is going to slow this down. Because, yeah, he's only going to have 1, maybe 2 scans while he waits for that vessel. Lurker is going to try to push forward as much as they can. 1 does get burrowed. Going to scan that and kill that immediately, though. But that is 1 of his scans down. He is not going to have another scan for another 13 to 14 seconds. These spores here are going to push back that engineering bay. Not going to let it float in here. Defiler mound being produced, and a couple of creep colonies being built around the main here. Hydra has a pretty good Zerg. It would appear that yeah, he knows how to play Zerg pretty well here. We're going to have a little bit of a, right as I say that though, he does make a miss rally of Hydras and Lings there that are just going to die almost immediately. Defiler Consume being built, and the first couple of Defilers are being pushed out here. He does have another scan right now, so I would not be upset if he did scan and take out these 2 lurkers, but maybe he does want to wait for a couple more of these tanks to be sieged up. Really pressuring a lot. There we go. We do see the scans go down. Going to take out both of these lurkers in time. Yeah, both lurkers do get taken out, so he is going to have to rely on these next couple of lurkers to push this back, but again, once his consume is done, he's going to have infinite amount of swarms here, and it looks like he does have just enough sunken colonies to push this back here. SkyHigh going to continue pushing forward. Only these sunken colonies keeping him alive right now, but Zerglings and lurkers going to be exactly what he needs to push this back. Right as Zerg is about to break though, the Defiler, 8 minute and 20 Defiler swarm is pretty quick, pretty good. Going to catch the Boxer a little off guard, but he is going to be able to micro out of range here. That is what you want. Another lurker going to get placed right there though. Going to do all the damage that he needs to do, trying to spread the Zerg out as much as he can, but nicely done by Hydra here. A little bit of an army right here, going to run in these 3 Marines and 3 medics, going to try to pick off a Defiler, but the Defiler is going to be able to squirm away, and the rest of these units are going to be taken out. So that first push has been shut down, and this is the difference between non-Korean players and Korean players. The Korean players are always macroing back at home so well, but during all of that, SkyHigh didn't necessarily macro as well as he could have, and this does not have the infrastructure that you would want at this point. You can see he definitely has the minerals and gas to be building a shit ton more factories and starports, but just he was focusing so much on that he just wasn't able to do it. That's what that extra 300 or the extra 100 APM does. Like SkyHigh, very high level, but the Koreans would definitely have a bunch of starports and factories built with their upgrades and everything going. You can just see that little bit of delay, having to not be able to do both at the same time. That is just the difference between like the super high level and then just the high level. A couple of scans going to go down to check out what he's against. The Zerg now knows that he has all the time in the world to mass up hatcheries and get his economy just rolling right now, because yeah, SkyHigh invested quite a bit into that drop. You can see he even built 2 additional barracks for that marine production, really wanting to kill him with that push, and now he does have to macro out of it, throwing down a lot of factories now, which is exactly what he wants to do. Oh, but yeah, still no slouch at all. I'm not going to compare him to those Koreans, because the Koreans are just unbelievable. And this is very human-esque here to just have to take a second to build back up. Massive vessel looks like he is going to do, which is pretty good versus Defilers here. I wonder what stage 2 of Hydra's plan is. I hope it's not to just mass 2,000 sunken colonies in the middle of the map. I hope that's not his plan, but we shall see. A bunch of Defilers here ready to swarm up these lurkers the second they encounter any kind of danger. Everything, yeah, getting established here for the Terran. You can see the Terran did macro out of that pretty well now. Back up to 143 supply, and very good base for him, but again, he is pretty far away from the Zerg player, so it's going to be hard to reinforce as quickly as he may like. We see the second those tanks are in range, we are going to get that swarm thrown down. Going to possibly try, oh no, just going to throw down a nice little plague there. Hydra, a big fan of that plague, and plague something you definitely don't see as much, so I do like that a lot. Eradicate, gonna take out one of those Defilers. You pretty much have 2 options as Terran here. You can mass vessels to try to continue to eradicate the defilers or even the lurkers underneath the swarm, or you can go for the way more stylistic approach, which he does have. The covert ops is go for the nuclear launch detectants, and the nukes force the Hydras to pull back, and then once the explosion is done, to try to regain their ground. But you can time it out so you move your tanks forward enough. But yeah, it is tough to do. It is no easy task to kill Hydra's Zerg here, especially when he has this swarm upgraded. He's up to 71 drones here, and just has not taken much damage. This is a good move here, putting the tanks on the ledge here, so he's not going to die to any kind of counterattack. We do have an Ultraless Cavern, so Hydra may be looking to go Ultras now versus a Terran. Wasn't able to afford it, or really not the best option anyway versus a Protoss player. Even when he was rich, he did not opt to buy it. You don't see Ultras very often versus the Protoss. Guardians now going to be coming out here. Going to have to rely on vessels, I think, to get it. A vessel counterattack going to come in here, but actually doesn't do the worst. I do see some blood there. Wasn't able to burrow all of them, but able to burrow most of them for the most part. Defiler, yeah, okay, look at the massing out here. Try to take map control here. Just slowly regain that whole map. Going to run in here. Got a couple, got 2 lurkers before. Now he is eradicating the lurkers underneath the swarm, which sometimes is just what you have to do. Mass vessel, not the worst idea versus Zerg, but you have to make sure that you don't build too many of them. Another swarm just going to continually be thrown down, slowly massing up his hatchery, so he'll be able to have a chance to do a counter attack here. Has not taken very much damage, if any really damage, to his main, just really focusing on his frontal push here, continuing to throw down plagues and swarms, trying to regain some ground. These tanks on the ledge making that difficult. Couple of vessels going to go in here, going to sacrifice himself for an eradicate on that defiler. And now these Zerglings are pushing forward. We're going to see a nice little eradicate defensive matrix bomb here. Going to try to go into those minerals. Going to get ensnared. Very nice move here. And then those spores are able to take it out before it can touch those drones. So very high level stuff here from Hydra. The Guardians now going to clear out these tanks at the front, going to spread out those eradicated Guardians so they don't do any splash damage to the ones that they are around. Another plague going to go down here. We do see that a couple of ghosts being built, so yeah, he does have a nuclear silo ready. A couple nuke silos and 1 nuke actually being built, so does look like that he is going for the nuke strategy to kill this, but it could be a little bit too late, as the Zerg now has a fully established base and economy here. Was able to start massing factories outside in the middle. You can see the map control is important here for both of these guys here. These Hydra's trying to run around and auto kill these tanks up here on the side, which are just destroying all of the stream of units that are coming out. Valkyries blasting away all of the air from the Zerg. So two very evenly matched players here. We see the first nuke getting thrown down right here. The nuke in the middle. No lurkers and swarm here, but it is going to take out a whole ton of Zerglings. And a Muta. That was dope. Big time nuke there. But actually there is no lurker defiler here, so the Zerg is confident in his build, or in his units. What is he building right now? Just massing Zerglings for the most part. Zergling and defiler, devourers being built, guardians being built. Just trying to find that right mix of units that can kill this Terran player. Terran has almost penetrated that full choke here. Has a very good unit combination of his own here, but these Devourers are going to come in here, take out these Valkyries pretty easily as they outnumber them significantly. Gonna have to throw some Eradicates on here, but a couple of these Defilers actually are being rallied out to their death right now. One is able to escape, and that may just save him a little bit right here. Lots of Erads on those Devourers. Devourers are super low in health. Mutas, though, now able to come out here and actually do some damage now that those devs did take out most of that air that the Terran player did have. Zergling continuing, and they must have gotten dropped up there, taking out all of this infrastructure here at the top. All of his massive factories are right out here. Starports are back at home, all building vessels here. Mutas fighting off with the Zerglings here. Goliath's gonna have to be built. But yeah, the Zerg economy has just not been touched this entire game, so he can just kind of build whatever he wants. Very good defense at the beginning, and just slowly chipping away at the Terran player, continuing to push him back and slowly taking out all of these expansions that he does have. No more nukes being built yet, but he may have to now that the Lurker Defiler strategy is coming back into effect. One Zergling burrowed right there just to scout, I guess, for the most part, into the front of his base. Guardian's going to try to focus down these tanks here on the side that are just making it a miserable time to try to exit his base and do some counter pressure as they are just getting blasted away. Nice swarm here, going to be able to push forward. Another swarm, going to get these lurkers even closer if they can burrow. One is able to burrow with 5 HP. Going to start chipping away at those factories. Guardians, nice little spread out, taking out these turrets and clearing up more and more of the Terran infrastructure. He does still have a journey of a ways to go, but we do see a drop actually being loaded up. Now that he has cleared out some space, he does have a path to go up and around here. There is Marines on the map that may just scout it in time. Okay, no, he's just going to drop up here again to clear out more up at the top. Not going to go for that main here. Defilers not going to be able to get any swarms off Lurkers. The swarm would help a lot. Ultra's just getting blasted right there. Look at those bloody corpses. And yeah. Continuing to expand his defense. Slowly but surely, the Zerg player is making progress though, but SkyHigh isn't any slouch. He's going to continue to pressure forward, dropping more Zerglings out over here to just pick off these units that are abusing, the ledge abusing. You can see that he has cleared off both of these ledges now and most of these turrets around him. So the next step will be clearing this middle spot before I imagine he takes map control and then starts massing in there. We see though more mutas being built, more ensnares being thrown down. Mutas are a very good combination with the plague as well. Both of these guys have to be exhausted though too. They just played that 2-hour game. And they just played the last game, so these guys have been just playing their hearts out right now. Boxer doing everything he can to just kill this Hydra Zerg. No wonder his name is Hydra, because he is pretty good with his Zerg. Zerg must be his favorite race, because yeah, it just does not seem easy to kill. Looks like right as the Terran does make some progress here, we hear the consume of the Defilers being met. He really is only using these Defilers once it gets really close. He needs to be using them out here to push. I'm going to get 2 nice Defiler swarms out with Lurkers on it. He's going to clear this out yet again. Regain some ground with these Lurker swarms, And yeah, just continue to stay alive, which is the name of the game right now. So many vessels just rat-a-tat-tating everything they can. Not much anti-air here until he starts massing up Hydras. Hydras are going to be now mass picking off some of these vessels and pushing forward. He does need another swarm here though, because tanks will just annihilate you otherwise. Do see a couple of defilers just being built now. They are going to need to consume. These Zerglings are doing what they can to push forward. More scans being thrown down here. Valkyries taking out Overlords. Plagues being thrown down. And there we go. We do have these swarms inching closer and closer. A couple of tanks on the ledge still doing work here though, but the mass swarm is going to be tough to deal with. Retaking out all of this middle with his crackling lurker swarm here. And yeah, he's going to be able to start reaching over to the Terran base here. Look how quickly these Zerglings take out buildings, even just focusing on them. The crackling SkyHigh down to 183 supply. Has lost all of his map control, and the Zerglings are just swarming in. The Defilers are going to make it across. They are going to eradicate them, and he is going to live for another day, but you can just tell that SkyHigh is in trouble. There is a long path for these units to get across. Gonna plague a bunch of these vessels, and going to just start massing Zerglings. A big line of Zerglings coming through. Defilers now being made. The Zerglings causing even the tanks to siege damage, some of their splash damage, some of their own things. Nukes still being built here by SkyHigh. Gonna have possibly do defensive nukes here, and we can see him now taking over map control and gonna start massing hatcheries in the middle of the map. And it just looks like this is the beginning of the end for SkyHigh. Well fought, but yeah, it just doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold on. The Zerglings slowly taking out more and more units. His supply dripping lower and lower. Does not have the production to keep up. And yeah, a very, very, very good series for sure here. But it is going to be, it looks like it's going to be a 3-0 from Hydra. Making Tony G's predictions look bad. GG is going to be called, and yeah, SkyHigh, I'm going to take that. Take a nice 3-0. Very impressive stuff by Hydra. Not the quickest, not the most quickly executed games, but nonetheless, he got those victories. He got them as Zerg. And yeah, he is going to advance on to the next round and see who he is going to be up against. We'll throw that bracket up so you guys can check out who he will be playing against, because I don't remember off the top of my head and I don't have the bracket directly in front of me. That will be a post-edit thing. Some long games. I'm glad I didn't live cast them, because holy shit, that would have been a nightmare. So no live cast, but you guys got the replays casted. Hope you guys enjoyed. GG, and until the next first round game, cha boy.